Listen, before the world gets loud again, before your mind begins its daily storm. Just breathe and notice something quiet inside you, something ancient, something aching to be heard, because all your life you have been carrying a you that was never yours, a name others gave you, a face you learned to protect, a story you never questioned, a mask you forgot you were wearing, and somewhere along the way, you began to believe that this mask was your true self. But what if it isn't? What if the one suffering inside you is only a shadow, an echo, a dream you mistook for reality? What if the you you've been defending doesn't even exist? Life has a strange way of convincing you that you are something small, something separate, something fragile, a name, a face, a story inside your skull. But sit quietly, just for a moment, and you may notice something unsettling and strangely beautiful. The one you think you are might not exist at all. You see, the ego begins as a useful tool, a way to navigate the world. But at some point, we mistake the tool for who we truly are. And from there, the suffering begins. You wake up each morning carrying a weight, the weight of a someone you must protect, defend, prove, justify, and parade through the world as if existence depends on keeping up the act. It's exhausting, isn't it? This constant effort to hold yourself together, to maintain an image, to pretend you know who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, and why any of it matters. But look closely, and you may see the cracks in this character you're playing, because the ego is nothing more than a bundle of memories, a handful of stories, a collection of fears, a scrapbook of identities that keep rearranging themselves every time life changes shape. And yet, you cling to it, like a child holding onto a toy long after it has broken. Because without the ego, who would you be? This is the terrifying question, and this is where the awakening begins. The ego tells you, I am separate. I am alone. I must survive. But the moment you slow down, the moment you let go of the constant noise, you begin to feel something deeper, something the ego cannot touch. You begin to sense that consciousness is not inside you. You are inside it. You begin to sense that life is not happening to you. Life is happening through you. You begin to sense that the boundary between you and the universe is made entirely of thought. And when thought fades, even for a moment, you dissolve into something vast, something whole, something so intimate and so infinite that the ego simply disappears. This is not death. This is freedom. But the ego resists. Oh, it resists. It tightens its grip. It panics. It tells you, without me, you are nothing. But here's the truth. Without the ego, you are everything. The waves of thought rise and fall, but the ocean beneath them remains untouched. The roles you play change, but the awareness watching them never moves. The body ages, but the presence within it is timeless. The ego says, I am the doer. But life whispers, you are the witness. And if you listen deeply, you may notice that every moment of suffering comes from confusing the two. The ego wants control. It wants certainty. It wants meaning. It wants applause. It wants safety. It wants permanence in a world that is constantly dying and constantly being reborn. And so, the ego fights life. And life always wins, because life is movement, and the ego is rigidity. Life is flow, and the ego is resistance. Life is truth, and the ego is the fear of truth. If you look back at your life, at the moments of deepest pain, you will notice something. It was not the situation that hurt you. It was the ego's story about the situation. You didn't fear being alone. You feared what being alone meant about you. You didn't fear losing something. You feared what loss said about you. You didn't fear change. You feared that change would erase the version of you that you were trying so hard to protect. But slowly, quietly, like a dawn rising inside your chest, you begin to sense that the ego's suffering is optional. You begin to sense that behind every fear, every anxiety, every insecurity, there is a deeper truth waiting patiently to be remembered. And that truth is simple. You are not the story. You are the space in which the story appears. You are not the voice in your mind. You are the silence that listens. You are not the storm. You are the open sky. And once this is seen, truly seen, the ego begins to loosen, soften, fade. Not because you kill it, but because you finally stop believing it. The illusion only survives when unseen. Once light touches it, it cannot pretend anymore. And this is where inner freedom begins. But this freedom is not an escape from life. It is an acceptance of life. All of it. Its beauty. Its chaos. Its uncertainty. Its impermanence. You realize that the universe is not outside you. It is expressing itself as you. Not the ego, you. Not the psychological you. Not the character you play. But the deeper you. The awareness behind the eyes. The presence before thought. The stillness beneath emotion. The silence that has never changed since the day you were born. This is the awakening you have been avoiding your whole life. Not because you weren't ready, but because the ego was too loud. But the moment you become curious, the moment you question the one who is thinking, the illusion begins to shake. And in that shaking, a door opens, a door the ego cannot walk through. Only awareness can. And once you step through, nothing is ever the same. Not because life changes, but because the one experiencing life is no longer trapped inside the illusion of being a someone. You see, there comes a moment, quiet, almost unnoticed, when something in you begins to wonder whether the one you've been protecting, defending, arguing for, was ever truly you at all. A moment when the old mask, the name, the story, feels strangely lighter, as if it's been waiting for you to finally put it down. And if you are very still, you can feel a door open inside, a door that was always there, but hidden beneath the noise of trying to be someone. Because the ego, that restless narrator in your head, is terrified of silence. It wants movement, identity, something to hold, even if it hurts. But the deeper you, the quiet awareness, is not trying to win anything. It is not trying to survive. It already is. The ego whispers, "Become." Your being replies, "You already are." And this tension between the one who wants and the one who simply is creates almost every suffering you've ever known. Look closely. The world spins without your permission. Your heart beats. Your breath flows. Life moves through you without consulting the ego. So who is really living your life? The thinker? Or the awareness behind the thinker? The ego is never present. It always needs a next moment, a next identity, a next problem. Awareness, however, is always here. Still, silent, unmoved. When you watch a sunset, the ego disappears. When you laugh deeply, it dissolves. When you love, it falls away. Yet you do not vanish. You become more real. This tells you something essential. The ego is not you. It is a habit, a tension, a contraction of consciousness. You are the space it appears in, the silence beneath the noise, the one who has watched every version of you come and go. You were a child, then not a child. You will be someone else again. So who is the you behind all this? The ego wants permanence. But life keeps changing the costume. Life whispers, loosen your grip. Stop trying to be someone. Just be. And yes, we resist. We cling. But letting go is not a loss. It is a return to your natural state of quiet, effortless being. When the illusion of ego weakens, nothing explodes, nothing dramatic happens. It dissolves like fog lifting from a valley at sunrise. Softly, revealing what was always there. Awareness, presence, a lighter way of being. Problems still arise, but they no longer cling. Emotions come, but they flow. Life moves, and you move with it, not as a rigid self, but as consciousness expressing itself. You begin to laugh more easily, because you see how seriously the ego took everything, how much it tried to be permanent in a world that changes every second. The ego wanted control. Life wanted flow. The ego wanted answers. Life wanted mystery. And eventually, you discover something gentle and profound. The mystery was never against you. It was carrying you, teaching you, undoing you just enough to reveal your freedom. So the invitation is simple. Don't fight the ego. Don't destroy it. Just see it. Watch its movements. Notice its contractions. Let awareness touch it. For the moment you see it clearly, it loses its power. It becomes transparent. Something small, like a child that only ever wanted to belong. Awakening doesn't happen by force. It happens by understanding, by relaxing out of the story you were taught to protect, by remembering the space that was always here,